It's your girl, JV. Hi, Priestess. Back at it again with a pick a pile for you guys. And what we're focusing on here is, speaking of focus, what to focus on while all of the planets are direct, and especially with Mars entering Gemini today and for that entire transit. So I want you guys to, I've got three piles here. I want you guys to feel in. Pile number one is this beautiful garnet that we've got. There's just something special about this stone. I just love it. And then pile number two, we have this red jasper. It's an OG crystal of mine. I've had it for forever. And this pile three, excuse me, we have this lovely fire agate that is just all kinds of beautiful and interesting. So definitely take a moment to feel into the piles, see which one you're drawn to. You don't have to limit yourself to one. You can watch all three if you resonate and feel like it. So let yourself be led. Mars and Gemini is definitely going to have you guys thinking for yourselves, have us all thinking for ourselves. And so this pick a pile is just going to help you take a better look at what you need to focus on while all the planets are direct and during this Mars and Gemini transit. So let's get into it. All right, pal one, you chose the garnet. And I keep wanting to say granite. It's funny, but I know that that's not what this is. But there is something special about this stone. It feels very ancestral. Almost feels like when I think of a bloodstone, I actually think that this is what that would be. But there's just something at the center of it. So you may be getting to the heart of the matter, getting to the center of things, being hyper fixated on something. That could be something or themes that are coming up. But I'm going into this reading blind with you. I just pulled these cards and I didn't look at anything. So we are starting out with a message on, all of these are what you guys are to be focusing on while the planets are all direct until April 28th and during this Mars and Gemini transit. The Light Seer Tarot says, some of you may be focusing or needing to focus on providing yourself some clarity. Some of you, there's like a dreamy boy around or a dreamy person, someone that's like artistic or maybe a musician or a poet or a painter, sound healer. There's definitely like something with sound healing or something with sound, a DJ, something of that nature. But you may be confused about this person. I feel like this person is also confused about their situation. What's coming to light also, some of you, there may be just a lot of emotional doors or a lot of like emotional there may be just a lot of cups open, a lot of emotional doors open. Some of you may need to I feel like just clear out the clutter as far as your heart. There are definitely what you're needing to focus on. Also, for some of you, I feel like it's instead of daydreaming, it's time to act. I feel like there's been a lot of daydreaming, a lot of fantasizing. But for some of you, you are really needing to tap into your subconscious and get into the etheric for a while and figure out what it is that matters most to you. Like, there could be an excess of something here. Some of you, there may be too much. You may be needing to focus on sobriety, which will provide clarity. Some of you, I feel like some of you maybe have multiple partners, or you may be polyamorous or in some kind of open relationship, or you may be just single and dating a lot of people. But I feel like for some of you who have like an excess, like you're talking to like 3, 4, 5 people, there's a bad one in the bunch. So it's really important that you guys are feeling and tapping into your intuition. This person is like really thinking hard about something. So if you are in an undefined relationship, I feel like let shit happen organically. You don't need to be like, have the what are we conversation. And if you're feeling led to have the what are we conversation, I mean, that's already kind of a shitty sign as it is. That's a message in itself. If someone is not interested in defining something or, with you, then, just take that for what it is. Not everybody, and I'm not saying that ownership is like someone is trying to establish ownership of you makes you fucking worthwhile or something like that. No, that's not what it is. But it's just like, I think everybody's learning to go with the flow. And the Shadowscapes Tarot, I got the Shadowscapes because I wanted to tap into what we may not be seeing clearly or what may be in our periphs. King of Swords reversed. There may be like, I feel like some of you are maybe trying to cut through this confusion by way of aggression. It's just like, fuck it. You just may be tempted to pop off. And what you're needing to focus on is really getting your mind right, becoming a master of your thoughts, becoming a master of your words, being impeccable with your words. I feel like some of you are valuing integrity in a different way than you ever have before. Some of you may be used to like getting away with white lies, and then finally a white lie hurt you, or finally getting away with being dishonest and the dishonesty came back to you. That could be something that you guys are focusing on. And some of you, I feel like, are maybe struggling with words, or there may be like someone older with a speech impediment or a language barrier or something of that nature. Some of you may be struggling in the realm of language or English or literature, or learning a new language or something of that nature. So that could be something that's going on. Mars in Gemini, though, this is Mercury in Gemini. It's going to feel similar, I feel like. I think that we are going to be motivated by our thoughts, motivated by our words, motivated by our intellect, really turned on by people who speak well and who present themselves, who are articulate. So there is something about but also it's just like, be careful of people being mean. Some of you are confused by someone who's being mean or being sharp, or who is saying less or is diminishing themselves in some way. And you really shouldn't. It's time for you to really focus on tapping into your creativity, how to manifest your dreams, how to make your passions something that pays you, and not being worried about what people think. Or I also feel like some of you have been struggling to enforce boundaries. And the King of Swords is like, you're too old to be playing this game. You're too old to be letting this kind of shit slide. That could be something that's going on. So the King of Swords reverse is just like, hey, it's time to pay attention to the legalities of things. Some of you may be needing to put your energy into getting like legalities straight. This may be like starting a business, getting your LLC, or wrapping things up with like child support or an ex or something of that nature. There is those of you who are dealing with legalities. It's important that you use this all systems go, all planets direct energy to really move forward. Then we have the Kundalini Oracle deck that's out, and I pulled this out because I wanted to, like, it is Mars that we're talking about too. So it's like, there is sex, there is energy and action and movement. And so the Kundalini is like what to do with that. And it's saying to commit to yourself. All of these cards are all so far single. I do feel like there is a lot of self-love. This card is beautiful. God, I love this deck. There's a lot of self-love, giving yourself flowers, honoring your divine sex magic, you really harnessing the power of your sexual energy. And I feel like some of you, I feel like are not having sex with someone, or maybe like you were in a sexual connection and now you're not. You're actually committing to yourself. You're trying to stay single, or you're trying to like quit smoking or quit drinking or quit some kind of toxic habit, and it may be making you sharp. It may be like making you like really tense or angsty, or aggressive, unnecessarily aggressive towards people. So just be aware of that. If there are vices or something that you're trying to let go of, be aware of your behavior. and the tone that you use when you're talking to people. But I do feel like also there is a lot of sexual healing that is happening within yourself, pile one. And it's really important that you commit to figuring out what you like. I also feel like some of you have never masturbated, and it's really important, like, you figure out how to pleasure yourself before you go expecting somebody else to. So that's a message for someone. Then from the Star Seed Oracle deck, we have Forge, Don't Follow, Pave a New Path, Be the Leader You Wish You Had. That goes perfectly with look at these cards. This is why I buy these shits. I don't ever use them, but they're just so fucking beautiful. This is just like, I feel like you guys have access to a whole nother dimension whenever you really tap into harnessing your own sexual power, and whenever you tap into committing to yourself. There's something you guys need to put your foot down, I feel like, and that is that is what I'm tapping into right now. You really needing to stand up for yourself, you choosing to commit to yourself. Some of you are needing to leave a relationship because it's too muddled, it's too confused, or that person is being mean or being disrespectful to you in some way, and it's a big leap for you to just like figure out how to do this. You may be needing to focus on how to establish self-sufficiency and self-soothing during this transit, and understanding how to forge your own path, how to not be just someone's person, how to not be someone's boo or someone's wife or someone's husband or someone's dick or someone's like midnight, late night creep. You know what I mean? You're more there. If you want to be, you can be more than that. You can have more than that. You can have someone who wants more from you than just your sexual energy. So it's important that you stick to your guns, commit to yourself. If it feels off, it fucking is, and that you allow yourself to forge a new path. Then from the Animal Spirit Oracle, the Spirit Animal Oracle, we have the Groundhog Spirit, and there is something, time to let go. I feel like for some of you, there's something that you need to cut off. There's some kind of connection that you're needing to cut off, or you're going to it's like 6 more weeks of winter, that kind of thing. Or it's just like, if you don't let go of what is coming up in your heart when I'm talking about this right now, if you don't let it go, you're going to be in another round of this cycle all over again. So it's time to conserve, to think, to really be observant, to really pay attention to all the cycles and everything that's cyclical in your life. 31, 3 plus 1 is 4. So there is this need for stability, providing stability for yourself. You needing to take a look at the structure of things. And when you look at the structure of things and really choose to get out of your head, choose to step away and get a bird's eye view from all of this emotional confusion, or, getting really grounded. That's something that you guys are really needing to focus on. All of this is getting grounded. I don't know if you guys have heavy water in your chart. That doesn't matter. But it's just this pile, it's time to ground. And getting grounded in your emotions, really getting into a place of acceptance. And in that acceptance, you can really break some habits, break some cycles that you've been needing to get out of. And for the last, time to let go. And I wanted to end with the Spirit Truth. This is my new favorite oracle deck. The Soul Truth, Self-Awareness card deck. Go ahead and get at it. I know y'all are going to ask me. And it's, what am I afraid of losing? What am I most afraid of losing? And that's a question only you guys can answer for yourselves. And I just saw 27 again. I had to film. Never mind. That's the second time I've saw 27 when I've done this pile. And for me, that's my lucky number. But I also want you guys to pay attention to the signs and wonders of things. There's a lot of synchronicity here. And with all these loops here, you choosing to commit to yourself is really going to help you guys see how you've kept yourself stagnant, see how the cycles that you've perpetuated and that you're stuck in, and how to forge a path out of it, And in you choosing to commit to yourself, you really are going to be able to ask yourself the hard questions. And good for you, because it's time. I love you. All right, pile two, you chose the red jasper. If you look at it, I'm trying to get, you can see some pretty veining in there. Red jasper is great for motivation, moving forward, tapping into that root sacral chakra. And I am going into this reading blind with you guys. But I got choose specific decks for specific reasons. And I want to start out with the Light Seer deck because we are asking for messages on what pile number two people are to be focusing on while all the planets are direct and during this Mars and Gemini transit. So the Light Seer Tarot is saying the Two of Swords. You guys are needing to pay attention to whatever you guys are vacillating about, whatever you're going back and forth about. I feel like some of you are feeling torn. Some of you are feeling tormented in your mind. Some of you are really tormented, I hear, by indecision. This is like really trying to weigh your options, really trying to, oh wow, I don't know. I also just saw like self-mutilation for some of you guys. It could be something that you guys are not really seeing clearly. You guys are really needing to, if any of you are self-mutilating in any kind of way, it's really important that you start educating yourself as opposed to just like allowing this to go on and blindly. So that is a specific message for someone. Or if you know people who are doing it, really educate yourself before just like pointing the finger or like saying, stop doing this. Like, educate yourself. Really try to come at this from a place of love and understand that if you or someone is stuck in like addiction or suicidal or self mutilation or any just dealing with mental health issues, education and logic is going to work more than just aggression and trying to enforce rules or boundaries or passing judgment. What you guys are needing to focus on either way, pile two, is to really pay attention. What aren't you seeing clearly? What willful, where are you choosing willful blindness? Where are you choosing not to see the truth? In what ways are you leading with logic? In what ways are you putting your feelings and your emotions on the back burner? In what ways can you really set yourself free? In what ways can you like put whatever's tormenting you to bed? How can you lay these swords down? How can you lay these burdens down? It's important to focus on making a decision. I feel like in moving past, there's something like there is a decision there is an option available to you that will provide you freedom. You just have to take the blindfold off and look at it. There's also a lot of vulnerability that you guys are needing to really tap into. And so I pulled out the Shadowscapes tarot because I wanted to, and this will coincide perfectly because I wanted to tap into like what we aren't seeing clearly. So for pile two, the Shadowscapes tarot is the Eight of Swords. Wow. What you aren't seeing clearly is the way that you guys are really keeping yourself restricted. Pile two, what you guys are needing is mental freedom. And I feel like Mars and Gemini is going to be really great for you guys because it's going to help you see the ways that you are stuck in your mind. It's going to help you crave that knowledge, that desire, that information, that intellect, those deep conversations, that esoteric wisdom, that knowledge, that getting into it. It's going to help you figure out how to get yourself free, how to get yourself unstuck. And the thing about this, it's like a swan, but there's also a hummingbird, and I've literally never noticed that there's a fucking hummingbird here. But also, it's like this darkness. It's a shadow. And some of you, I do feel like you think there is a dark cloud over you, or you are feeling like someone is restricting you. For some of you, it's a parent. For some of you, there are self-limiting beliefs or doubts or things of that nature that have been implanted in you since you were a child by a parent or a grandmother or a grandfather or someone in your of an authoritative figure. It could have even been a teacher, things of that nature. So really getting to the root of things. There is something that you aren't seeing. You're not realizing the power that you do have available to you and the resources that you have available, the friends, the ancestors that are around you, the spirit team that you have available to you. And Eight of Swords, Two of Swords, Eight of Swords, it says that once you notice I feel like some of you, someone wants you blind. For some of you, this is a very few of you. There's someone in your life that wants you blind, that wants you stuck, that doesn't want you to see your power, doesn't want you to tap into, who you really are. And I feel like if you took the blindfold off, you would really see this motherfucker for who they are and how they've been holding you back and how they've influenced you to perpetuate the stagnancy, how they've influenced you to keep yourself stuck. This is for some of you, this is self-inflicted, but it's also self-inflicted because of a relationship that you, or a friendship, or I don't feel like this is a business thing. This feels like a relationship or a friendship. There's, and maybe even be somebody from the past. There may be somebody that's like haunting your mind from the grave. And it's really important that you use all of this direct. Like there is no time, no need for real reflection once we get into Aries season. It's time to handle this now, especially during Pisces season. It's time to take a look at the ways that you're keeping yourself stuck and who is perpetuating that stuck energy. For the Kundalini Tarot, I pulled up, I accessed this because I wanted you guys to tap into, your more sexual energy. This is Mars that we're talking about, hey, and all the planets direct, all the engines are roaring. And so I do feel like also there may be someone, I just got a specific message. Someone wrote a song about you and like or wrote a track or made a track or something like that, wrote a poem or made something like that for you. And some of you, you're still stuck on like shoulda, coulda, woulda with this person. And it's time for you to tap into releasing that, like that gesture. Like that person, they may have like moved on from you in some way, and it's like that gesture and that them writing that was sincere, but just because they didn't stay doesn't mean that the song and everything or whatever, the lyrics or the words weren't real. And it's really time for you guys to, I feel like, listen to it again, accept it, cry it out, do whatever it is, but also like really release it. And then also I feel like there's a lot of healing that comes to you by way of music, by way of you using pile 2. When March 21st hits and Aries season hits, this is the last of this like sitting and being like really, really sad. It's time to like take a look at it. Obviously now, use the rest of Pisces season to really take a look at it. Some of you, I do feel like you're allowed to go ahead and wallow and listen to sad emo music that's going to perpetuate, your melancholy. But you also have the ability to transmute that energy by way of music. If you play sad, quote unquote low vibrational music, and that's gonna, those songs that make you want to cry, those songs that make you want to punch something, that make you want to fight, that perpetuate your ego and you keeping up, a facade of hardness, you are able to really change your emotions and your environment and the way that you feel by way of music and by way of what you are exposing yourself to. So really pay attention to that. Understand, like, you can give yourself the little sad emo moment and then you need to get up and get like really fucking moving. Play some really motivational music, things that are really gonna get you inspired. And get you inspired because the Starseed Oracle deck says you've got the fucking love. You got the love. Put some fucking Florence on. You got the love. And Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. Yeah, I do feel like there is something here about, and I mean, the Two of Swords, Eight of Swords is all about boundaries and the ways that you have kept yourself closed off. You have the love inside of you that you are searching for in other people. And it's really important for you to take a look at all the influences, all the voices in your head. Who is still a voice playing in your head that does not need to be a voice in your head anymore? That's what I'm saying. There is something here about like something in your mind. I feel like some of you are really struggling with your mental health, and you don't need to keep it inside. You need to talk about it. You need to be proactive and really not just make light of it. Some of you, I feel like some of you are even hearing voices. And this could be like you think you're going crazy, but some of you are really tapping into some spiritual gifts. Some of you are really hearing from your ancestors. Some of you are really getting answers because you are understanding. And this also has a lot to do with music. You tapping into your, that other dimension, because music is just frequency. When you are, some of you also pay attention to like the 432, 528. Start playing those hertz in your house. You can even play, I often will have that going, like, because they have like on YouTube like 8-hour fucking high hertz tracks. I don't even need to go through all the frequencies with y'all. But I'll play that, and then I can still have in one room, and I'll still have other songs and other music playing or whatever. I just have it going. It changes the energy in your house. So definitely understand that you have the power to create the love that you want by way of sound and frequency, and really tuning in. Start asking questions like, who are you? Why do I feel this way? You will start, if you really start paying attention to your thoughts, you will start to understand, oh, that's a certain side of myself. Like, that is not me. Pay attention to your thoughts. See what happens. And the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, you guys got the Lizard. Dream the world into being. Yes, get yourself into a warm place. Getting yourself into a place where understanding, once you realize you've got the love, you'll become way more adaptable, and you'll be able to see clearly. The blindfold will come off, and you guys will really be able to dream bigger and feel into things and ask yourself the hard questions. And while all the planets are direct, and while Mars is in Gemini, the question also I feel like you guys are really needing to ask yourself is, what are you grateful for? What am I grateful for right now? Gratitude is going to break you free of so many different prisons in your mind and in your physical reality. By just expressing gratitude for what you have right now, even though it isn't what you want, you will draw in more things to you that you actually are going to be really grateful for. So it's time to, tap in. Ask yourself the hard questions. Take a look. Take the blindfold off. Be willing to see. Some shit's going to hurt. Be willing to see, though, because it's worth being. Don't go through shit blind. You know what I mean? Take role. Take action. Become active in your life. And you will be led. You will be moved. You will be driven to a place of deep gratitude. I love you. You got all right, pal 3. You chose the fire agate, and this stone I've newly acquired is just so beautiful. I think it's great for moving energy, moving emotions, motivating your body. Definitely feel free. I didn't want it to be a crystal video, so I'm not going to dive into all that, but definitely if you chose fire agate, I want you to research the properties of fire agate. And it's going to resonate differently for all of you. And the cards that we're looking at are what Pile 3 people are to be focusing on during the transit, during the fact that all the planets are direct, and during this Mars and Gemini transit. And I chose from specific decks for specific reasons. First card out we have from the Light Seer Tarot. And the Light Seer, because all of these planets direct, it is kind of like this deer in headlights kind of energy. A lot of people have been describing it like how they thought Mercury retrograde would feel. And the Light Seer, because we're asking for a better view of our light, for our path. And the Light Seer says 9 of Swords. Interesting. So what you guys are to be focusing on is the end of a mental cycle. I feel like some of you are really focusing on getting your sleep schedule like back to normal, back on board. What's coming up for, I mean, all these readings big time, it feels like mental health. Really, but the Nine of Swords is the end of a chapter in the realm of the mind. Some of you are really putting to bed and grieving old belief systems, letting old relationships go, letting old thought processes go, letting go of old mental habits, mental cycles, self-limiting beliefs, things that kept you stagnant and held back. I do feel like there is, like, because of the nine, with this Nine of Swords, it being the end of the chapter, look at this one bird, this blue bird, this white bird that's coming in. I feel like coming in, even maybe from a different dimension. This could be spirits, angels, however, your guides coming in to really drive out a lot of the anguish, to drive out a lot of whatever the thoughts, words, old beliefs, or grudges maybe that you guys are even hanging on to, things that kept you stuck. The divine's really coming in to like drive that out. There's new information, new beliefs. And in order for you to have this rebirth, there are parts of you that need to die. Because after the 9 is the 10, where he's impaled. But you can't understand what needs to die if you're not aware of it. In the 9 of Swords, there's some kind of cycle. There's something that you guys you have been focusing on that really, really hurts. And what you're needing to understand is that it needed to hurt this fucking bad so you won't ever do this bullshit ever again. You won't ever accept this ever again. You won't ever allow whatever happened to happen again. You will pay attention to your intuition. You will pay attention to the signs and wonders. It's just like it needed to suck this bad, because so you would learn the lesson. And so that you would, and you guys are coming out of a place, I feel like, of getting your head out of your hands. That's coming. The relief is coming. And I pulled from the Shadowscapes deck because I wanted to see, tap into that what aren't we seeing clearly energy. And the 10 of Cups! Motherfucker! That's what I'm saying. There's an end of a cycle. And the 9s represent the end. 10s are new cycles. So this is a new cycle in the realm of emotion, a new cycle in the realm of feeling and fulfillment and happiness. Some of you guys really getting out of your head so that you can experience togetherness, putting old grudges to bed, things that have really kept you up, things that have really like fucked you up in your mind. It's time to really, really let these things go so that you can experience and welcome in the happiness that you really know that you deserve. And this happens, I feel like you guys are, once Aries season starts, you definitely won't be here. In Pisces season, there is this like transition of, really dealing with, accepting, facing your darkness, allowing yourself to be undone so that you can, begin again. And then we have the Kundalini Oracle deck that I pulled from because this is Mars, so there's some sexy shit happening. And Kundalini energy is to be tapped into during this. It is this very forward motion, and the card we got for fire agate is embrace the masculine power. And it's interesting because so many times we're told to, like, everybody needs to embrace the divine feminine, and some of you are really learning how to integrate and really balance your masculine. Learning how to integrate more masculine energy, how to be empowered, how to who to let in. I also feel like for some of you, you guys who chose this, there may be a divine partnership that's coming in. Someone that is like your ultimate kind of like man or your ultimate kind of person. They may have more masculine, even if they're a woman, they may be, very like comfortable in their masculinity, or they may dress androgynously, or they may be like very gender fluid with how they present themselves. But there is something about once you lay to rest they also may be a fire sign. And this feels like Aries energy, cardinal fire, definitely masculine energy. They're also ooh. Hmm. There's for some of you there is a partner coming in, or you guys are ready to be a partner, ready to step into your divine masculine, ready to like step into like real partnership with someone. I feel like that's just something that's coming up. For the Starseed Tarot, the Starseed Oracle, breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Interesting, and that is very masculine. Some of you maybe, that's what I'm saying. There's something about integration. I feel like a healthy balance between both. Really, if you take a look at this card, it's such a beautiful deck. The way that she, like, from your lips to the universe's ears, I feel like there is something about understanding how to harness your willpower, very, solar plexus chakra. And it is a very masculine thing for you you embracing pile 3 fire agate people, you embracing your masculine side, you tapping into your aggression, healing your aggression, healing any kind of sexual things that you have maybe with men, or sexual like speed bumps that are going on in your sexual activity right now, whatever it is. I feel like you need to be specific. Some of you are calling in a divine partner, and it is someone that you have been like very specific about. They have qualities that you have specifically asked for. So hold tight and have faith that the universe heard what you asked for. And then, then from the Spirit Animal Oracle, we have the Elephant Spirit. Look at that. 2 + 5 = 7. So there is definitely this super, like, I feel like etheric thing that's happening. And you guys are really, the Elephant Spirit says, learn from the past. So there is something about here, you guys, are starting off with all of these planets direct, and it may be hitting you hard, like what you're shedding. And maybe you may be really thinking, really reflecting. Use only the rest of Pisces season to stay this reflective. Don't take this shit into Aries season. And that's what I'm saying. Spend the time to learn from the past so that you can get into a place of really asking yourself the hard questions. And for you guys from the what did I do with it? The Soul Truth Oracle deck, I have, to whom am I comparing myself right now? Whoo! And that's definitely a deep truth that you guys may be shedding right now. Some of you, the Ten of Cups, some of you are shedding like the way you thought it would be, the way you thought your relationship or your life would be right now, the way you thought your partner would be. And I feel like also some of you are holding out for something, and you don't need to hold out for something you think someone else has, or something that of someone else that you're envying. And also this is going to manifest for you guys in so many different ways, but it's just like, it's time to ask yourself the hard questions, and you can do that by learning from the past, definitely, and taking this time to be reflective of it. But understand, this Nine of Swords is not going to carry on. This is only for really the rest of Pisces season. And then you really are able to reflect, learn from the past, figure out if there's any envy or jealousy, or things that you are trying to impress somebody, or lure someone in, or attract or seduce someone because of how you think their type is. or whatever. So just be careful of that. Come authentic. What's happening, what you guys are really focusing on also with this question is authenticity. How can you move more authentically? And definitely research the fire agate stone and the properties there. But there are big questions here, and there are big things to let go, and there are big opportunities for satisfaction and for divine downloads and divine communion once you open yourself up to it. And make sure, that's what I meant, like learn from the past. Like it needed to hurt this bad so you won't do this shit again. So you won't put yourself through this again. And it's all gonna really become clear. So have faith, allow it to be revealed to yourself. Stay open, pay attention to the signs and wonders all around you, and tap into your fire because it's there and it's going to sustain you. And you are preparing for this fire season that's coming up with Aries. I love you. You got this.